I am working on a very quick project right now. I'm hoping to have it done in 2-3 days max. We are on day 2 and I never filmed the intro, so I'm filming the intro now. So this was intended to be a 3-day or so project, but none of my projects ever last as long as I want them to. They always exceed the expected time because, I don't know, I'm really bad at just guessing how long something is gonna take. I always have been. Probably always will be. Whatever. Anyways, the project is Shy Guy from Mario. Everybody knows Super Mario. I don't need to explain who Shy Guy is, but I am going to read this little quick definition that is straight from the Wikipedia. Shy Guy are common enemies in the Mario and Yoshi franchises. They are recognizable by their masks, which they wear due to their shyness. And one thing I have spent a lot of time Googling is, what are they? Are they a race? Is it a character? Is there something under the mask? And while I couldn't ever find anything on what's under the mask, they are a species. It's not characters, individual characters. It's a species, it's a race. That is the plan, Shy Guy. But I'm also going to make the dress because I want to match the first Shy Guy I ever saw in any game ever, which is the stereotypical red dress, blue tights, white mask. So that's what we're doing. For the mask, I used air clay that you just watched me mold around my little melted, broken styrofoam head. It worked perfectly because it is basically the size of my face, and I set it to the side and let it dry for several days, or forgot about it. You'll never know. Checkmate. Anyway, so the pattern was literally just my measurements. That's it. And I freehanded some straight lines. And then I used 4-way stretch fabric. And yeah, I didn't know how to show you that this is the amount of fabric I have. I'm pretty sure it was 2 yards, not 100%. Sometimes I'm not entirely sure how much fabric I'm going to need. So when a pattern says, this took me 2 yards of fabric, I'm like, I'm going to buy 4. So this was either 2 or 4 yards, but looking at it, pretty sure that was 2 yards of red 4-way stretch fabric. The cats were honestly so helpful during this whole project, except I'm pretty sure I started a lifelong grudge between me and Merlin. He really wanted to play while I was drawing out the pattern, and I didn't because I was drawing out the pattern. And yeah, he looks 11 to 10 offended, and he's gonna hold that grudge for the rest of his tiny, fuzzy little life. Mother did not want to play with me. Either way, both boys were really helpful. Great models, great fluffy little perfect bodies, and I can't cut the content out without being sad, so here is some cat content while I worked on this project and music. Enjoy. After I was done with all the sewing prep and fabric cutting on the floor, they honestly became uninterested. For some reason, they don't like sanding or grating noises. Who would have thought? And now the time of much fear has begun. I have to tear my mask off the styrofoam head. And by tear, I mean I need to slide this little ruler in and pry it off the head. The only other project I've ever done this with, the clay broke and I had to start over. And honestly, I actually never finished that project. That project is unfinished. I have not done that cosplay. But this time, I refuse to have failure. We actually do have mission success. There's only minor cracks that I'm able to fill in by pushing my fingers into the clay. It's not all dry on the inside, so there's plenty to work with still and fill in all the cracks if I can keep my cat from getting into things. While the inside's not dry at all, really, it's not going to affect the next stage so much. It's just going to need more time before I can actually wear the cosplay. I am working on a very quick project right now. I'm hoping to have it done in 2-3 days max. We are on day 2 and I never filmed the intro, so I'm filming the intro now. This, whatever this is, the intro. The cosplay I'm working on making right now is I'm just doing a Shy Guy. I thought it was gonna be super simple, you know, just make like a red hooded dress, like a fucking like red riding hood. I don't know. And, and a little mask. And I have a bunch of air clay because I impulsively bought an entire tub of it with like 8 packs at one point. And I don't use it because I'm bad at it. And yeah, it's just a dress and a mask and a belt and stockings. So now that you saw the intro, and I am still in the exact same spot on the floor where I remembered that I forgot to film the intro, I went ahead and pulled it has been over the weekend. It takes like 3 days to dry if it's too thick, and it's not even done drying because this side was against a solid surface the whole time and it didn't dry at all, and it's air dry, but there is some cracks from peeling it. I tried to like push some of the extra clay over the edges. I can sand it down later. Hopefully that'll dry, but there's some cracks as I pulled that went up a little higher, and I'm gonna like fill those with hot glue. I'm trying to fill all the cracks with hot glue so that when I'm in the sanding phase, it'll just kind of go together hopefully. But yeah, this is our little mask. It's posable and bendable right now because it's not fully dry, so we want to try to keep it in the right shape. And I'll cut the eye holes and add the band. But you know, I think I got the sizing. I was just kind of, you saw, I was just kind of doing it. And the sizing, I don't know. I think it smells really, really weird. I don't want to like huff it if it's like Sharpies, but I'm like trying to, it smells like glue. I don't know what it smells like, but I don't know. It smells like paper mache. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and go to the sewing now while this continues to dry and the hot glue gun heats. Honestly, there really isn't much to say about the sewing process. I just like to add these shots in because I know some people are curious and it is a significant portion of the crafting process. But I am not a seamstress, so I am still doing basically just single line stitches and then locking them in and calling it good. I don't do anything fancy, I don't do anything advanced, I just make straight lines basically. And then sometimes I remember to lock them into place. But all in all, it was really easy to sew this because there was only 4 top pieces for the torso. The hood was in 2 pieces. Each of the sleeves was 1 piece, so it was 2 sleeves. And then the bottom, the dress, the skirt, was only 2 pieces itself. So all in all, there was 4, 6, 7, 8, 10. There's 10 pieces. So like, what am I gonna do? Complain? No, this was one of the easiest sewing projects I've had to do for a cosplay. I think if I ever remake Shy Guy, I will have to come up with something a little more complex. So 3-day. I really got close today. I just ran out of time. I've got to get ready for my Twitch stream and I just can't finish it. But I'm going to go ahead and show you guys where we're at. And I'm actually feeling really good about this. The only issue I'm having right now is that I definitely made this part of my sleeves too tight. But there's nothing I can do about that without completely redoing the sleeves. I don't want to do that, so just before I came upstairs just now, I was like, I'm gonna go to work now. I'm gonna stop watching TV. I'm gonna go to work. Well, I'm 10 minutes late, 12 minutes late. It is 1:12 p.m. Because I wanted to refill my water bottle at the kitchen sink where the filter is, where I think the filter is. And so I refilled my water bottle and I didn't screw the lid on. And I wanted to look at my herb garden because it's like growing every day. And after picking an herb, some dill off, I'm like, yeah. So yeah, after I picked those leaves that will provide for my family for the coming years, the coming winter. I know we're still in winter, but like, you know, prepping early for the next winter. I wanted to see what the roots looked like because it's all water in there. So I picked open the little thing, and I'm short, so I'm like leaning way over my counter, and it looked real cool. It looked real cool, and I got so distracted, and I was like, come look at this. Come look at these roots, and I knocked over my open water bottle all over the counter. So anyways, today I was actually able to finish the dress, and it's really good. Here, I'm just gonna show you. It looks amazing. Now that the mask is mostly dry, it's time to head into the next step. Sanding. This step is all about getting out the imperfections, and it's a chance to catch anything before I put the plastic dip on and put it in its final permanent form. I've got to buff out all the little fingerprints I put in it, and because I'm not a clay connoisseur, there are lots of bumps and ridges, so the step is very useful for me. I'm also using this as an opportunity to try to get the sides all even and the same size, and getting it overall prepped, because after this I'm just trying to go into detail work. Overall, the sanding process wasn't hard. It actually came out really nicely. This Crayola air clay really sands very easily, and I'm probably gonna stick to this stuff forever for these projects because I don't know how much easier it can get. I made stencils for the eyes and mouth with paper and traced them onto the mask before cutting them out with my X-Acto knife. I only cut the mouth hole halfway through because I don't need to see through it. When I started using my X-Acto knife, I learned very quickly that the mask was indeed not fully dry. While there is a nice thick top coat, it was soft in the center still, so as I began cutting through, I had to be very careful not to push too hard because I would be pushing the mask down and changing the shape. and it's getting a bit late in the process to be able to change the shape back if I screw up now. I was also concerned about pulling the eye holes out because with the soft clay in the center, I was concerned that the clay would kind of just keep pulling out as I pulled the eye holes out, and that it would just completely ruin the structural integrity of the mask and it would just be unwearable. However, I am in luck. The clay being soft actually worked out for me because I was able to smooth the innards of the eyes without much struggle, and the sandbar to smooth it out would never have fit, so it kind of just ended up being a plan falling together in on its own. So now all that I've got to do is carve out the mouth before I can add the Plastidip. And all I'm going to do for that is I'm going to use the stencil, draw the little circle, carve out some little lines with my Exo pen, and try to just peel half of the clay out. And since it's soft, I'm just going to mold the whole back into shape. I did a big bad no-no and did not film the final steps of making the mask, so I just have to tell you right here. After I'm done molding and sanding, I do let it dry for another day or two because it really wasn't quite there yet. And then I go and add a couple of layers of Plastidip to lock it into that shape. Then I use 2 small squares of black interfacing that I can see through when I press the fabric against my eyes, and I hot glue those into the inside of the mask. After hot gluing the eye holes on, I use some cheap black paint to fill in the mouth hole. Then I take a strap of leather and I glue that on for the back of the mask. It really is just a couple of small steps, but I really regret not filming it, so there you go! I think I literally just made my actual best cosplay ever. Like, I made the dress the highest quality I've ever made a dress or anything. And I made a mask that I don't hate and could probably actually be used for more than just the photo shoot. Unlike the last hat I tried to make, which is still just sitting as a decoration somewhere in my room because it sucked. It really did. Anyways, here's the finished product.